And holy cow, it's Jeff Skinwade in the building.
Wow. Dude, a second ago, you were fragmented into 3 frames, and that was really psychedelic. I liked it quite a bit.
Yeah, you want to try 3 frames with us too? Look at this. Wow.
So if I go, yeah.
No, you don't want to. We'll just stick with the 2 frames. How about that?
Okay. Hi,
it
Jeffrey.
Turns out, like producers and stuff like that, those are real.
No, you do everything on the fly, which makes it more organic and more fun and more spontaneous. And by the way, man, I'm looking over here on the right side. All these names are popping up as people continually comment and jump in. And I would say that this new incarnation, I mean, you've been doing YouTube for a while, but this incarnation of the Jeff Cavanaugh show is off to a rip-roaring start. Congratulations, dude.
Thanks. Thank you.
Yes.
Oh, I got to turn it up. Wait, where is it? That one. Where's the Cavanaugh song? See, I had my first equipment malfunction. Son of a biscuit.
That's okay.
Yeah, it was also in the first segment realized that doing something that's solo and trying to have it be an actual show instead of just like streaming and talking to the chat box.
Right.
It's very different. And I'm going to have to like learn all over again.
Well, I think
8 or 9 minutes in, I'm like, wait, this is probably isn't entertaining. Like in my head, I'm doing all sorts of things. Like, oh, you need to, that's not, what?
I would say that whatever it becomes, it'll become that way naturally. And the people that are here, they're here because of you. And so really, whatever you decide this thing needs to be, all these people are going to ride with you. This is a testament to what you've done on radio for all this time. How long were you there?
11 and a half.
11 and a half years. And so you've built up people that can't get enough of Cavanaugh. So whether you're pushing the wrong button or playing a Van Halen parody of your name or Jose and Taylor on or whatever it is, people are going to ride with you. So I wouldn't worry about all that crap.
I'm really trying to figure out what happened to the, no, that's the TikTok rant music. Okay, let me just get that out of there. Yeah. So first of all, thank you for jumping on. This is Jeff Skinwade. If you guys are weirdos and don't know who he is.
Hello.
He is first and foremost a human being named Jeff Wade, who's a badass dude.
Oh.
And, sometimes he does radio on 97.1 The Eagle, and sometimes he does Mavericks color commentary. And he's one of the people that I really look up to in the world and in this industry. So thank you for joining me and share with the world what's going on, because you're a person who's dealing with some stuff. And like, I'll be honest, the first time you posted about it, I was like, oh, he's just kind of joking. And I'm like, I'm not even real clear of what's happening here, because that's just kind of your personality, where it's just like, oh, yeah, just this little thing. See you guys Tuesday. So what's going on and how are you in real life?
Yeah, so in real life, if you were to launch this thing in about 2 weeks, I probably would not have been able to jump on with you. In radio, we disappear for a couple weeks around Christmas time. And that coincided with the Mavericks being on a long road trip. So I found out right after Thanksgiving that I had head and neck cancer and that it was manifesting itself into some tumors in my neck. And so those had to be removed. And so we made a decision to announce it after the surgery, because it's a different kind of message to say, hey, I had tumors removed, than to say, hey, everybody, I'm going to disappear because of cancer. That's a real downer. And I was probably afforded the opportunity to do that for the simple fact that my cancer, they've made great strides in it and it's very treatable. And once I go through this radiation process that I'm going through now, I have a 90% plus likelihood that it'll never return. So when you have those kinds of odds, you can kind of be a smart ass and go, hey, everybody, I'm joking about cancer.
I don't have a lot of sound effects, so I think that's the one I use when it's like, yeah.
Yeah, no, that's good. That it's a signature thing.
Unless I get sued by Skinwade.
Well, so the surgery was the last week of December, and that really sucked, Jeff. I would not recommend it.
Okay. Noted.
And then slowly was getting my strength back so that I could go through radiation. And so in my circumstance, it didn't make much. Chemo is a real MFer. And so I don't have to go through chemo. We decided, along with my doctor and my surgeon, that was not the best course for me. I got to go through radiation. So I've done 9 of those 30 treatments. It's 5 days a week for 6 weeks, but the way radiation builds up, it's cumulative. So I'm about a week away from, having some difficulty talking and all those sorts of things. So this was a nice little window for me to jump on here, because I think a week from now I'm probably not going to be feeling like it, but then I'll start building my strength back up, and hopefully by the end of March or mid-April, I'll be back to being the person that you last saw last time that we hung out. So that's the goal.
Well, I love you and the people love you, duh, and kick its ass. Or I
Well, I
guess
love you, Jeffrey, and I'm so I don't want to say I'm proud of you for doing this. I know that this is easily within your repertoire and acumen. I'm happy for you, and I also know the way radio works, and so I can tell you, speaking for Ben and KT, and I'm sure they'll come on your show, and Christina, and they'd say the same thing. Whenever you're legally allowed to, we want you to jump on the Ben and Skin show, just like us jumping on the Jeff Cavanaugh show. I mean, it'd be a great opportunity for us to promote it. Hell, you know how Ben is. He'd probably just promote your show anyways. But if we have the opportunity to ever have you on as a guest, we would want that, because you are very much loved by the 4 of us on the Ben and Skin show. I can tell you that.
thank you very much, my friend. Hey, let's talk about the Mavericks.
Okay.
I'm gonna start with an admission. When the Mavericks traded Kristaps Porzingis for Spencer Dinwiddie and Davis Bertans,
Yep.
I went, oh, okay. They found one team who would offer one particular package, and that's all they could get. And so they said, yes, we will trade KP.
Yes.
And it was like Dinwiddie was having a bad year, and people in Washington were telling us like, oh yeah, he doesn't like playing off the ball, and Bertans has lost it. And they're here, and holy crap, last night Dinwiddie had his coming out party, and Bertans looks like he's going to be a useful corner 3 dude. And it's early, but it's looking like that was just a thing where it's like, okay, no, they were in a place where they hated and nothing was good and everything was poison. And holy crap, you might have actually got some players.
Yeah, I think without a doubt, they fortified their bench, right? And so we're basing this on what we've seen this year versus what we've seen in a small sample size. And the thing with this trade, I was very disappointed by it, because I thought that you removed yourself from being competitive in the playoffs. And I'll get to that in a second. Porzingis wanted to be traded last summer, and he didn't have any trade value. I know that there were people in the organization, like even before Kidd and Nico were in the picture, that were straight up telling him, dude, we can't trade you right now. You have to restore your value. You've got to go out on the court and prove that you could be traded. And so when Kidd and Nico came in, they started rebuilding that. And I think he very much enjoyed being here. The problem with Porzingis is he's not available enough. And so it's an abstract argument to go, Porzingis makes you much better if you don't know when he's going to be there. The games that we watched this year, it's very evident they're a far superior team with Kristaps Porzingis on the floor. But if you can't count on the guy, you can't count on the guy. And they also had several years left with his deal. So they're getting antsy about how can we build around Luka if we're paying all this money to a guy who's not here. And the Washington deal, there was, from my understanding, there were 2 deals that were in play. There was a deal with Toronto that would have netted Dragic and another piece that they were working on, and Toronto backed out of that deal. And so all that was left was the Washington deal. Washington had been desperately trying to trade Bertans and Spencer Dinwiddie, and nobody wanted them. And there are some people that will tell you that Davis Bertans' contract was one of the 6 or 7 worst contracts in the NBA.
$18 million a year for a guy that stands in the corner.
He was playing in Washington 13 minutes a game.
Yeah.
Okay. So now let's deal with what we're seeing. What we're seeing is immediately a great fit. And the main thing that what the Mavericks needed is they needed a lot of things, and they still need a lot of things, but they needed bench help. And those guys are delivering that immediately. And the other thing that you're seeing, Spencer Dinwiddie has been a really good NBA player that's been sidelined by injuries. He's had two pretty major injuries, but right now he's hitting 69% of his shots. That's probably not going to be what he is.
You
He
don't
is a
know that.
career 32% three-point shooter that's currently hitting, I think, 46%. So what we're seeing is the best of Dinwiddie, right? But that's also an indication that he wants to be here and that he can play with these guys. So I think if we temper our expectations, we're going to be really happy with what we get because he was a need. He is another, like putting Jalen Brunson in the starting lineup was bad for this team, but it had to happen, right? So now Brunson can stay in the starting lineup and you're getting that attack player when those guys aren't on the floor. And then Davis Bertans, my God, is he confident or what? I mean, he's gunning, and it's great because it does add another element to the team. Bertans' problem started when Washington was trying to make the playoffs in the bubble, and he didn't want to go, which I don't want to get into whether or not, a guy should or shouldn't play during COVID. Okay. I'm not going to judge that guy. But if you look at Davis's issues, that's when it really started. And then his numbers were going down, and then this year was horrible. But it's pretty obvious he wants to be here, and his ability to catch and shoot and the other team to respect it adds another wrinkle to this thing. So, and then the other thing too, Jeffrey, is it makes it easier to make other trades because their contracts are both half of Porzingis. So all of that has worked out really, really well for the Mavericks.
So, yeah, that was the one thing that at least that was my theory that I was very confident in when they traded, is that, instead of a 30-something million contract, now they have an 18 and a 13. That they probably feel more confident. I can move that one and that one than that really big one. And so that works. Whatever happens here happens, but it's pretty cool to see it kind of fitting up. And last night it was super cool because, man, they went, it's small ball, but small ball is a bunch of 6'6" dudes now, but like Luka and Bullock and was it Dodo, Dinwiddie, Brunson? And for a team that like a year ago, it was like, dude, they only have one ball handler. Now it's like, do you have three legitimate ones?
Yeah. And I think the other thing that you just, we're talking about, Jeffrey, that makes so much sense is when you get to the playoffs, you usually only play one big. And that's one of the things that the Mavericks were thinking about. Well, what is our future with two bigs? Maxi Kleber is a guy that can truly cover a 6'4" player. He's proven it time and time again. And Reggie Bullock has been extraordinary playing off of Luka. So it gives them more versatility. But the bottom line is this. If you look at how the Mavericks are winning, Luka Doncic is playing out of his ever-loving mind. And so when you get to a 7-game series and it comes down to matchups and adjustments, the Mavericks don't have a lot of counter punches other than Luka go get us 35, 12, and 14, and everybody else has to hit all their open shots. And so they have to go get another badass. And hopefully they're in a position to do that, having their first-round pick this year, the contract flexibility with Brunson, whether they keep him or do a sign-and trade or some of those things. They just have more flexibility. And so when they made the trade, I thought it was a trade for the summer of 2023. And depending on how incredible Luka can play in the playoffs, it ultimately still might be that.
We're calling this 2 Jeffs, 1 stream, as I'm pretty sure what we agreed on. And this is the great Skin Wade, who we all love very much. Keep kicking ass. I think anytime that anybody goes through anything that is difficult in some way, at least in my brain, talking about it and saying something about it, I think helps a bunch of people.
Yeah.
So thanks for talking about you. Keep being a badass and fix your golf game.
My golf game
so
is
you can golf, bro.
I think honestly, like there was a time period for a couple weeks where I couldn't use my left arm. So I think I'm probably a long way away from getting my golf game fixed because I was a long way away from getting it fixed when I was healthy. So that's going to be a tougher battle than cancer for sure. But I want to say this. I felt tremendous love and support from listeners and viewers of the Mavs broadcast. It has been extraordinarily eye-opening. And I wouldn't want anybody to go through this. It's not great, but it has been a huge perspective shift for me in a really positive way. So I just want to thank everybody for being behind me and all that kind of stuff. I felt so much love. It's incredible, dude.
Love it. And I love you.
I
You
love
know
you,
that.
bro.
Thanks for hopping on. Have yourself a wonderful evening, sir.
All right. Say hi to Jasmine for me.
I will. Here, look, we'll just 3-screener. Look at that.
Hey.
Hello.
Hold on. I have to fix the things because I don't know. Ha ha. Look at that. Ha ha.
Okay, did I hear this correctly, Skin? 90% chance of this effer never coming back.
They actually, it's higher than that, but the doctors don't want to give you a percentage higher than that. So
Yes, that's amazing.
All right, Skin, get out.
Okay, bye. See you later.
All right. See ya.